know I only wanna come over, put it on him. I got that whoa, na na na. He drink that shit like water. I got that supernova. That super.
Okay, so let's start this video off right with a song. Let's hit the playlist. Hopefully I don't get copyright, but yeah. Okay, so we're trying to start the video off on a good note. At least I am. I'm gonna be looking at my phone a lot because I have everything in my notes. I wrote this whole video out, playing this YouTube video, because this story, I've been wanting to tell this story for a minute. Y'all might not like it, I don't really know, because you know this is my first story time. Hi my lovely Bratz dolls. Yes, you are all beautiful. I hope that you guys are having a wonderful day. I hope that your week continues to be wonderful. I hope that even if you aren't having a wonderful day, this video clears up all of that and it makes you happy and makes you smile. But yeah, so let's get into the story time. Okay, so this story is about my ex-best friend. She was a snake, as y'all can see by the title. She was real fake, and I didn't notice it at the time, but she was really, you know, she was really preying on my downfall, for real. This story was back in middle school. I am currently in high school. I am 16. So yeah, basically this story is really, it's rocky and it's shaky, but the facts add up. You'll see it eventually once we get to the end. So this is my third time filming this. Like, please please, I really want this to come out right. This is my third time filming this video. I still have to edit it and everything, so we're just gonna see how this take goes. I hope that I'm in the frame this time, because that was the problem last time, so hope you guys can see me. But okay, so first we're gonna give her a name. Let me think of a name real quick, because this is something I didn't put in my notes. Okay. Her name's Zesty. My snake ex-best friend. We're gonna name her Zesty. So Zesty was one of those girls who looked to boys for validation. Like, that was just her main thing. Like, if a boy said she was pretty, she thought she was the hottest thing on the planet. And I'm like, she's not ugly or anything, but you know. But yeah, she was just one of those girls who looked to validation, who looked to men or boys at the time for validation. You know, one of those pick me girls. Like, that's how she was around boys. Like, she had to do everything cute and prissy. Like, oh, I'm so little. Oh, da da da. Like, you know, one of those. And you know, being like that in middle school, it was a regular thing for girls, I guess. I was a tomboy. I hung out with boys. I fought boys. That didn't come naturally to me. Like, it was so weird to me that they act like that around boys. But yeah, okay, so we have been friends since 5th grade. It was a lot of red flags, like, in 5th grade that I didn't even notice, but I'm like, I started 5th grade. Mind you, this is I want to say my 3rd time transferring schools. I just started at this school. I had went there before, but it was from kindergarten to 2nd grade. Transferred. I was at 2 different schools for 3rd and 4th grade. This is my 3rd time transferring. I'm back at this school. I'm in 5th grade now. I don't have any friends. I don't really know anybody. It's the first day of school, and this girl comes in with another Spanish girl, you know. And I look at them, and I'm like, they must be best friends. I want to be friends with her. I want to be friends with them. My main focus was Zesty, because Zesty, I don't have anything towards Spanish people, but I didn't have good instances with Spanish friends. So I just wasn't one of those types of girlies that have Spanish friends. So yeah, I looked at Zesty and I was like, yeah, I want to be her best friend. So her and Zesty and her best friend at the time, they came and sat next to me, had a conversation with me. We hit it off so fast. We liked the same stuff. You know, back in that time, it was like, what, I don't even know what year it was, but everybody was obsessed with those emojis outfits and light up sneakers. So, you know, like, it was a really weird time for everybody. But yeah, so within this time of us being best friends in 5th grade, me and Zesty had hung out the most. Her other, you know, best friend or whatever they were, they had like drifted apart. And the Spanish girl, she always blamed me for her and Zesty drifting apart. And I'm like, if Zesty didn't want to be your friend anymore, that's not a me problem. I didn't come in between y'all. I didn't walk up to y'all and was like, oh, you're my new best friend. Zesty asked me to be her best friend, and it happened so weirdly and awkwardly, but she asked me to be her best friend. So yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna give you guys an instance where she tried to embarrass me. In 5th grade, I know I keep saying 5th grade, but in 5th grade, I was a tomboy. I played basketball with the boys. We played kickball all the time. I was one of those girls who would wear pants every day, simply because of the fact, once we get to recess, I'm going to be outside running around, racing, playing basketball, playing kickball with the boys. You know, I'm going to be out there. Like, always had a rip in my pants. Somehow, someway, I always had a rip in my pants, a stain, or sneakers was dirty. It was just something always dirty on me once we came back from recess. So, this one day, we're playing basketball with the boys. It's like 2 other boys, because nobody was really there this day. But, of course, it's recess, so other 5th grade classes are outside. Outside, we play basketball at the court or whatever, and the boy, he like crosses me up and dunks on me. I didn't say I was good at basketball. I said I used to try to play basketball with the boys. So he crosses me up and he dunks on me. He's like, oh, and you know, I run under to go catch the rebound, get the ball, and I'm standing there and I'm about to like, you know, about to pass it to him. And next thing I know is a ball hits me right on top of the head, like directly on top of the head, like right there. And I'm like, I turn around, I'm like, who just threw that ball at me? And she walks up to me, she's like, oh, I'm sorry, my bad, it wasn't on purpose, my bad. She's just apologizing profusely. And I'm like, okay, you're my best friend, I accept your apology, just, you know, don't do it again. She's like, oh no, I'm really sorry, I didn't do it on purpose. And I'm like, okay. It was just other little stuff that she would try to do to embarrass me. That's one of the things that I took to heart, because we were best friends, and I'm like, you tried to embarrass me in front of the boys. Like, it was just really weird. Okay, so once we got to 7th grade, I'm going to tell y'all now, I looked the exact same. From 5th to 7th grade, I looked the exact same. I still look the same now. It's no difference. Only thing is, in 7th grade, I was learning how to do my own natural hair. So, like, I would wear my hair out, you know, tracks and bundles, of course. You know, this was the time of slick back ponytails with the long, you know, little 20-inch ponytails, 18-inch. That's what I was doing. That's what I was learning to do. I taught myself how to do all of my hair. So, I was just one of the girls who learned how to do their hair. So, if my hair wasn't in braids or eliminated braids, you know, some type of braided hairstyle, my hair would be done no matter what, because I knew how to do it myself. And I had the products for it. That's the only thing that changed, because in 6th grade, boys didn't like me. They bullied me. I was bullied from elementary school till 6th grade. Like, even in 7th grade, I was still bullied a little bit. But, you know, I just thought I was one of those types of girls who, you know, didn't really care what people thought, because I really didn't and still don't, you know. That's one thing that hasn't changed about me. I don't care what people think about me. I like to be in order with myself, in peace with myself, you know. I don't really care. But yeah, oh, here's a photo. One from 5th grade and one from 7th grade. There's a couple hairstyles on there. I'm going to put them up here if there's space. I'm hoping there's space. I'm going to put them up there. So finally, after years of being bullied, like I said, I was getting, you know, recognized. I don't want to say the recognition I deserve, but, you know, the recognition I deserve, because I was always pretty. I don't mean to sound cocky or nothing like that, but I'm like, it's good to have confidence. That's what I'm going to say. See, me being bullied, I didn't have confidence. Every time I did have confidence, somebody would come tear me down. Which is why I am the way I am and the way I was in 7th grade. Didn't really care what people thought of me. So, yeah, so, me being her best friend and her being my best friend, I would show her the boys that tried to talk to me, because these would be boys that picked on me from 5th grade until 7th. Like, until that point in time, they picked on me so bad. They always started fights with me. They would always bully me about my hair. They would bully me about my face. Just everything, like my acne. So 7th grade, I started taking care of my face. I started doing my hair, stuff like that. I started trying to dress nice, like, you know, like a girl or whatever. I, you know, tried to dress girly instead of more masculine like I always did. Or more skirts and dresses and things like that. So I was getting recognized. I wouldn't say I wasn't getting attention. I was, but I didn't like the attention. And I almost said her real name. And Zesty, being the friend that she was, she wanted to be the girl that had all the boys. Like, all the boys looked at her. Now, as I'm going through all of this, a boy tries to talk to me. And I'm like, okay, you know, that's fine. Okay, I've known this boy since 5th grade. We met in 5th grade. It's 7th grade now. We're cool. We're chilling. Me and him were friends or associates. I can't see. I'm sorry. I have gaps. We were associates. And I'm like, yeah, that's cool. He texts me on Snapchat. He's like, you're really cute, stuff like that. He's like, hey, what's up with you? I'm trying to get to know you better, you know, smooth talking, whatever you want to call it. I'm like, okay, I'm cool with that. I'm down. I'm fine. We've been talking for like 2 weeks now. I didn't have an iPhone, so it was FaceTime on Snapchat. It was giving video call, you know, Android quality, Snapchat filters and all. But we FaceTime for like a good 2 weeks every night from that day. He would text me every day, all day. Good morning, good night, how was your day? Like, even through school, we would text each other, where are you? Like, you know, meet me in the hallway. You know, stuff like that. Like, we weren't doing anything in the hallway. We just used to chase each other up and down the hallway. But it's like, you know, I want to talk to you. Come meet me in the hallway right quick. Our classes were right across from each other, across the hall from each other. So it was nothing new. But yeah, I told her we got to school. It's like the middle of the school year. Come into school. I tell her about the boy that I'm talking to. Show her a picture, whatever. I'm like, yeah, you know, this is him. This is the way I talk to you. Know, I'm mad hyped because I'm like, this is something new for me. This is new territory. I've never been through this before. This is a new person. Not a new person, but it's the way that he's acting is new to me. So let's put it that way. I'm like, yeah, you know, I really think I like him. I think we're, you know, this is going to be my first boyfriend. I think we're going to be cool and stuff like that. I'm like really hyped about this boy. And I show her the boy. Let's give him a name. We're going to name him Prime. So I show Zesty Prime, and I'm like, yeah, this is Prime. This is who I talk to. Isn't he so cute and stuff like that? And she's like, oh, him? Yeah, remember him from elementary school? I'm like, yeah, that's why I said yes to talking to him. She's like, oh, you do remember? I'm like, yeah, that's Prime. She's like, yeah, that's his name. And I'm like, yeah, I know. She's like, oh, I don't really find him attractive. You know, he's just not that cute to me. He doesn't really, you know, push my buttons. Like, she didn't say it like that, but that's how I got it. I'm like, okay, I'm cool then. We cool, we chillin', we gang, you know, we lit. And I'm like, yeah, okay, bet. I want to say about 2 days after this, he's like slowed down texting, all that, like just everything. I'm sorry, I feel so greasy, but he slowed down texting. He like, we didn't really FaceTime at night anymore, so I was just feeling like he was losing interest. So me, and being the person that I am, I don't like, you know, when people lose interest and they like still try to talk to me, like the vibe isn't there anymore. I feed off of vibes. So if your vibe is not right, mine's not going to be right either. So the vibe was just off. And I'm like, okay, I start distancing myself a little bit. I'm telling her, I'm like, yeah, he hasn't really been, you know, the same since I told you that I started talking to him and stuff like that. She's like, yeah, you should just talk to him and see what's going on. So I text Prime on Snapchat. You know, I thought I was eating the girlies up. I text Prime on Snapchat, and I'm like, so, what's up? You know, why haven't you, you know, been texting me? I feel like the vibe's off. He's like, you don't know? She didn't tell you? I'm like, tell me what? Who's she? He's like, Zesty. I'm like, Zesty? He's like, yeah. I'm like, well, what did she tell you? He's like, yeah, Zesty was just, you know, she hit me up the other day, and she was talking to me about you, and, how you never had a boyfriend before. I would be your first, and, you never really did anything before, you know, like, she was just like, she was telling him stuff that I feel like being a best friend, you wouldn't tell your best friend's boyfriend or the person that she liked all this stuff. But like, oh, my bad. She would tell me stuff like, hold on, let me put my phone do not disturb. So basically, she was telling him stuff like, yeah, she's really insecure about this, that, and the third. Because in 7th grade, growing up a fat kid, I was a fat kid. I don't know if I had any pictures, but in elementary school, I was a fat kid. So growing up, being a fat kid, my family would just be like, oh, is baby fat? It'll go away, it'll go away. I mean, eventually it did. It took some years, but it did. And I'm like, I'm just starting to think I'm fat, you know. I feel like I eat a lot, you know. I was getting in that stage where it's like, I'm starting not to feel like myself, and I'm only a 7th grader. But being as though I was insecure, I wasn't very confident in myself. I had stretch marks in 7th grade, and I just, like, I felt it to be disgusting. I love them now. But then I hated them. Like, it wasn't something that I felt like 7th graders should have to deal with. So yeah, she's telling him all this stuff. She's like, yeah, she has stretch marks, and she's really insecure about it, so don't really talk about that. And like, she's really insecure about her teeth, which I don't care about. I'm still gonna smile at the end of the day. I'm still gonna live my life, you know. But back then, I was really insecure. Those were the two main things I was insecure about: my weight and my teeth. So she basically was telling him everything about that, and mind you, Prime is telling me that this is what Zesty is saying. So I'm like, okay, anything else? And he's like, yeah, she tried to talk to me after all that. And she was just telling me how she's better for me than you are, and how I shouldn't be dating an insecure girl because I'm such a handsome, you know, boy and all this. And I'm like, that's really weird. That's suspicious, you know. So I want to say it's the next day at school. It's the next day at school. I remember this day vividly. It's the next day at school. We used to walk home from school together, or like walk halfway, because she would go pick up her brother from from the elementary school, and I would go home. I lived up the street from the school. Like, we would stop at the store and get snacks and stuff. But yeah, so we meet each other halfway. We were walking to school at this point, and I don't really say anything, you know. I'm one of the types of person to, you know, see if she tells me first. We get to first block. She just has all this energy. Like, usually me and her, we were like the same. Like, we were the same person, like inside and out, or so I thought. We were the same person. So I'm like, you know, why do you have so much energy today? She's like, I don't know, I'm just so happy and excited. I just feel so good. Like, are you having a good morning? And she's like very loud in my face. And, you know, I hate people who have this much energy in the morning. It's 7 in the morning. It is 7 in the morning. Why do you have so much energy? I'm sitting here, you know, I'm on my Android, I'm on my phone, I'm sitting here like this, and she's next to me, because we sit next to each other. This is our first block. She's next to me, she's in my face, she's like, oh my gosh, I'm so happy, I talked to somebody. I'm like, who do you talk to? You know, who do you talk to? She's like, oh, I don't have a picture or anything, but yeah, I talked to someone. I'm like, wow, I'm your best friend, you can't tell me who you talk to? She's like, oh, it's not like that. I want to wait until we actually, you know, get into a relationship and stuff like that. I'm like, okay, cool, you know, I'm not really bothered, because, excuse me, then again, I don't know who the person is. I don't know who the boy is at this point. But we get to our, I want to say, second block class, and, you know, she still has the energy. We have other friends in this class. We don't have a friend group yet, but it's like 2 other girls in this class that we talk to, like, on a day-to-day basis. We do our work with them, we sit next to them, that type of stuff. So we all talking and conversating and stuff, you know, and I'm like, oh yeah, Zesty, I gotta ask you something. She's like, yeah, what's up? I'm like, so Zesty, you text Prime? I didn't say his actual name. We had code names for the boys that, you know, when we were around people, we had code names, obviously. But I don't want to mess you guys up with that, so I'm just going to say Prime, which is the name that we're calling him. I'm like, yeah, Prime told me you texted him. She's like, oh, for real? What'd he say? I'm like, you told me you said some stuff and that you were trying to talk to him. She's like, oh no, I just tried to talk to him for you. And I'm like, what? She's like, I was just trying to tell him stuff about you so that, you know, he can know more stuff. And I'm like, he can get to know me himself, you know, as we were doing before you rudely interrupted it. You know, this is the first red flag, you know, number one. Number one, down on flag on the plate. I'm like, this a little, you know, that's just a tad bit weird. Just a tad. I'm like, it's a little weird. But it's not out of the ordinary. She has done this before. She has tried to get other boys to date me. This is nothing new to me. At this point, it's just that I'm older now, so I'm like clocking everything mentally, so I'm like, that's a red flag. Yeah, I'm talking to her. I'm like, Zesty, you know, he told me you tried to talk to him and stuff like that. She's like, no, I was talking to him about you, and I was just telling him stuff about you. And I'm like, so you had to bring my teeth up in that? She's like, oh, I didn't say anything about your teeth. Mind you, at this point, I haven't seen any of the screenshots, no messages. I'll tell you guys why, but I haven't seen any of the messages, no screenshots. She's like, no, I never said nothing like that. I was just telling him, you know, not to, you know, be mean and, you know, because you're sensitive and stuff like that. I'm like, okay. I let it die down. Go home. Text them. I'm like, are we going to video call tonight? He's like, nah, I can't tonight. You know, I can't really. And I'm like, this is, you know, this is questionable. Like, this is not adding up. If 2 + 2 is 4, then what is this? Like, what is this? And I'm like, okay, I'm cool with that. It's not really hurting me because at this point, I don't have feelings for him anymore. Because in my mind, she texted him to try to get with him behind my back. He told me, and he entertains her. Let me say that. He's entertaining her now, which is why I distanced myself. So he tells me he can't FaceTime. I'm like, okay, that's cool. Go to sleep. It's the next morning. You know, me and her walk to school. We're in class chilling, you know. We're in class chilling. And she's like, okay, so I'm going to tell you who I talk to now. I'm like, but yesterday you just said, okay, let me see. I'm like, okay, let me see. She shows me him, and I'm like, that's prime. I'm like, you couldn't just say that? I'm like, that's prime. I don't really care. You know, we weren't in a relationship. I'm like, that's prime. She's like, oh, yeah. I'm like, don't play stupid right now. Be so for real. Like, I didn't say be so for real, but I'm like, don't play stupid right now. I'm sorry. It's cars riding past by my window, and I hate that. But yeah, I'm like, be for real right now. Like, are you serious? And she's like, are you mad? It's okay to be mad. Like, you know, I'll stop talking to him for you if you want me to. I'm like, oh, girl, no, I don't care what y'all do. That's y'all business. I don't talk to him no more. She's like, you don't talk to him anymore? Who do you talk to now? Like, she's aggressive with it. And I'm like, I don't talk to anybody now. You know, I'm alone into myself, how I should have been from the beginning. I'm like, I don't talk to anybody right now. I'm cool. I'm chilling. She's like, okay. I'm like, yeah, we just stopped talking because I felt like the vibe was off. So I stopped talking. So I would say about a week later, I think it was a week, about a week later, he texts me again. He's like, why you stop talking to me? You know, I miss seeing you on FaceTime and stuff like that. I miss talking to you. Why you don't text me no more? And I'm like, don't you talk to Zesty? He like, nah, I don't talk to Zesty. So, me being a detective that I thought I was at the time, I text Zesty, and I'm like, Zesty, get your boyfriend. She's like, who? I'm like, Prime. She's like, that's not even my boyfriend. Da, da, da. I'm like, okay, well, get him because he's trying to talk to me again. She's like, for real? Again? What do you mean by that? Why'd you say it like that? We're on Snapchat. You know Snapchat has voice messages. I'm like, why'd you say it like that? And she's like, oh, nothing. I ain't mean nothing by, you know, my brother just doing too much in the background. I was catching attitude. I'm like, okay. Chilling. I'm cool with it. I'm like, that's your business. I'm not going to text him if you don't want me to. She's like, oh, no, I don't really care. You know, da, 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 da. I'm like, I'm not going to talk to him if you're talking to him. That's weird. This is not a poly relationship. We're not doing that. You know, no, none of those three. I like one-on-one. That's it. Not three, babes. Not even two. I'm like, okay. But yeah, so yeah, after that happened, that was really the first red flag for me. And she has done this multiple times before. I just didn't know until this point because he told me. So that was the first red flag for me that I actually pointed out and I kept it in my head. The second red flag was where she I want to say about 2 months after this, so it's like February, March. It's about 2 months after that whole situation. Me and her are still friends, of course. We're close. I'm calling this girl my girlfriend. I'm calling her my wife. I'm very gay with my best friends. I will grab your boobs and everything. I'm very gay with my best friends. Even with friends, like close friends, I'm very gay with y'all. Like, I'm very open. So, yeah, at this point, we're calling each other best friend. Like, I'm like, this is my girlfriend, this is my wife. If a boy look at her in the hallway, why are you looking at my wife like that? Like, you know, it's one of those types of friendships. And I'm like, we're cool. And it's not like I'm on some serious type of stuff. Like, it's a joke. But she would catch an attitude every time I do that. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to back up some. So, stop calling her my girlfriend, stop calling her my wife. Mind you, we have another close friend at the time. I started calling her my wife. I got her a ring pop and everything. Like, I thought I was too smooth with it. Like, I thought I was so smooth. I got her a ring pop and everything. I was bringing her snacks every day. Like, I thought I was so smooth with this shit, bro. Like, I really thought I was so smooth. And the whole time, it was a joke. Well, I mean, now that I look back on it, you know, being what I am now, it wasn't a joke. But then it was a joke. Like, I wasn't really being serious when I was doing that. Because I used to bring everybody snacks. Like, I used to bring everybody candy every morning. I was the friend who had snacks. Money for snacks in the morning time. Money for snacks after school, to go to the store after school. Store before school. And get cookies and stuff at lunch. Like, I was that type of friend who always had money for snacks no matter what. This is why I was so insecure, because I used to eat everything in sight. But I was just one of those kids. My mom would give me money for it, so why not? My parents would give me money, so why not? I'm like, if I have something and y'all don't have it, you're my friend or close friends, best friends, whatever, I want to share it with you. I'm a soft, kind-hearted person when I need to be. Like, I'm going to share with you. You know, as long as I know you were cool and I know you're not using me, I'm going to share with you. So, yeah, she was just jealous that I was bringing everybody snacks and not just her anymore. Zesty at this point. Prime is out of the picture for me, like, completely out of the picture. For me, anyway. So, yeah, basically I found out that she was talking to a girl who didn't like me. I did not know that the girl didn't like me. Zesty didn't, you know, inform me of this information. I had to learn it from another one of our close friends. She eventually became our best friend, but she was a close friend at this time. Let's name her... What do I want to name her? Let's name her Braid. Okay, so Braid was a close friend of ours at the time. Braid is friends with the girl who didn't like me. Mind you, she didn't know that this girl didn't like me. Apparently, Zesty told Braid that this girl didn't like me, and I still didn't know until like 2 days later. Because Braid didn't come to school. So Braid, we see her at school next day. Braid tells me, yeah, you know, so-and-so doesn't like you. And I'm like, who is that? And like, I'm so flabbergasted. Like, I'm so confused. I'm like, who? Why she don't like me? She's like, da-da-da. I'm like, okay, but why she don't like me? She's like, oh, she said that Zesty told her that you be talking about her. Whoa. Whoa. I'm like, I don't even talk to Zesty about anybody. Like, the most we will talk about is boys. And we be talking about their hair, their breath stink, if they got on the same underwear like 3 days in a row, if the underwear be flipped inside out. Like, that's the type of stuff we be talking about. Because why are you sagging and you have dookie streaks in your underwear? Like, be so for real. Like, that's the stuff we would talk about and laugh at. I never talked about no girls. Like, I wasn't that type of female to put other females down. Like, I couldn't be like that because I didn't have confidence myself. So why bring another female down? I don't want anybody else to feel the way I'm feeling. So I was like, why would I? What? I'm like, what did Zesty tell her I was saying, Braid? Braid's like, she said, you said that girl was ugly. You said you could take her boyfriend. You said she smelled like fish and pee. I said, what? When did I say this stuff? And Braid's like, I don't know. That's what Zesty was telling her. Wow. Mind you, this whole situation was way deeper than Zesty, because Braid ended up being a snake too. And then before this, she told me she was in love with me. I'll give you guys a story time on that if y'all want that too. Let me know in the comments. But yeah, so yeah, Braid is basically telling me all this information on the low. Zesty is not around. Zesty, I think she went to the bathroom or something. I just know she wasn't in class. at the time that Braid was telling me this stuff. So whenever Zesty come back in the classroom, I'm like, Braid, I tell Braid, I'm like, Braid, don't tell her you told me anything. Like, don't say anything. So Braid's like, okay, I'm cool with that. Oh, my bad. Like, my neighbors are always doing something. So I'm like, okay, I'm cool with that. She's like, Braid's like, okay, I'm cool with that. I won't tell her. Da, da, da. I won't say anything. And I'm like, okay, bet. We're in lunch. We're with the guys and Zesty, and Braid's at lunch with us and a couple other mutual friends. We had a guy friend group that we were friends with, and we had an all girls friend group that we were friends with. Me and Zesty and Braid. We were like, you know, the peacekeepers. Like, we were the glue. Like, me, Zesty, and Braid were the glue to both groups, friend groups. So yeah, we're in lunch, and I'm like, Zesty, I got a question. Why did somebody tell me that you told so-and-so that I was talking about her? And I'm like, I don't even know that girl. You got somebody walking around school that hate me. I wanted to say, and I already hate myself, but I didn't tell her that. Because it's like, why would you say that out loud? And especially when you say stuff like that at the time we were in 7th grade, people are going to look at you like you're crazy. You're a sociopath. Like, you got stuff going on mentally. You're crazy. You're mentally not okay. And I'm like, so I didn't say that. I kept that inside, but you know, that's something I vividly remember feeling. Like, that's how I felt. And I'm like, why would you be telling people that I'm talking about them and I don't even talk about nobody? When I say nobody, I mean girls, because I just told you I was talking about the boys. And I'm like, when I say nobody, I mean girls. And she's like, I never said anything like that. I never told so-and-so that. Braid was telling so-and-so that. And I'm like, okay, well, next block, I'm going to talk to all of y'all. You, Braid, and so-and-so. Because we need to get down to the bottom of this. So-and-so ended up leaving for, I think, cheerleading tryouts during last block. So I didn't get to talk to her at the end of the day either. Like, she was already in cheer tryouts. But I talked to Braid and Zesty at the same time. And Zesty's like, so, Braid, why'd you lie to Jayla? And Braid goes on to say, oh, I don't know. It was just, I felt like I had to tell her, and I didn't want to tell her it was me because I wanted to keep her friendship. Be so for real right now. Like, are you serious? Are you serious? But I didn't say this at the time, but I'm like, be so for real. Like, please. And I'm like, that's weird. You don't have to, you know, lie to me to be my friend. I probably would have forgave you. I don't hold grudges. It's just a point of, depends on what you said, how you said it, and to what degree you said it. And she tells me, she's like, yeah, all the stuff that I said earlier, that's basically what I told the girl you were saying about her. I'm like, you know what, Braid? I'm trying to be calm right now. Leg is bouncing through the roof. I have bad anxiety. Always had it. It's real bad. With legs bouncing, like bouncing mouse. Like, you know that thing you do when you mad? That's what I was doing. Face is balled up. Like, I had fingernails. Like, my nails were long at the time. So, like, I had cuts in the inside of everything. Like, I was angry because it's like, why are you putting another female down and then you're using my name to do it? Like, you're lying on me. I hate when people do stuff like that. And, yeah, so Braid was basically like, yeah, it was me, da da da. And Zesty's like, I can't believe you would think I do something like that to my own best friend. We've known each other since 5th grade and da 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 and da da da. I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, you know, I apologize, but I just feel like that's something that you would do to me. And she when I tell you she looked flabbergasted, she looked flabbergasted. Like, she looked so confused that I said that. And I'm like, yeah, that's how I feel. She's like, oh, you shouldn't feel like that. We're best friends. We've been best friends since 5th grade. I love you. I would never say anything like that. I would never do anything like that. I promise. Like, we pinky swore on it and everything. Second, that what is that? We on the 3rd red flag. That's the 3rd one. If you count the one from 5th grade, that's the 3rd red flag. I'm like, okay, whatever. We passed that. At this point in time, it is like towards the end of the school year. Oh yeah, I did end up texting the girl who they said I was talking about, and I told her, and apparently she said something about me first, and then that's when Braid decided to jump in and say that I said something about her, and it was just going back and forth. So yeah, but that's something completely different. I was just adding on because I felt like you guys needed to know that piece of information. Yeah, but anyway, it's like towards the end of school, you know, this is when everybody fight and they get suspended. It's big fights outside of school. Everything's happening and stuff like that. No, before you guys say anything, no, me and Zesty did not get into a fight. But I did find out that she was talking to Prime again. And she was talking down on me again. Basically saying the same stuff. And he told me again because he said he felt like he owed it to me because we were close friends. Please. Like, be so for real. But yeah, he told me that. I'm like, okay, I'm done. I can't be your friend anymore. You just keep doing stuff to try to embarrass me. You talk down on me to boys. You're lying on me to people. Like, you're not. This is not what best friends do, especially as long as you know me. We've known each other for 3 years. We've been best friends for 3 years. I tell you everything. Like, it really hurt me at the time. And I'm like, I can't believe she would do something like that. So now, let's jump a little bit forward. Where, let's see, summertime. I'm transferring schools this summer. I'm telling everybody. I'm like, yeah, I transferred school. I'm going to a charter school for 8th grade. I'm transferring. My mom hate me. I got to restart. I really don't want to go to another charter school. Like, I literally cried to her on the phone for like 3 days in a row, back to back, about how I didn't want to leave her and my other friends, transfer schools, none of that. And she was right there on the phone like, no, it's going to be okay. You can make new friends. Just don't get another best friend. But you can make new friends. And I'm like, no, I don't like people. I don't like making new friends. I don't like talking to people. But I'm like crying. What I'm saying is like tears coming down. Like, I cry about everything. I'm very sensitive. I'm a big crybaby. Cry about everything. And that's all summer. So basically towards like the end of summer. So I'm going to say like August. Being as though I was at a charter school, we had orientation like 2 weeks before the end of August. So like those last 2 weeks, like the week before that was orientation, and then we started school the last week of August. So I think I want to say 2 weeks before orientation, so like the middle of August, me and Zesty ended up texting each other, and she's like, I miss you, what's your schedule? And I'm like, yeah. She's like, did you get a schedule in the mail? And I'm like, yeah, I did, but I'm not going to that school. I already transferred all my paperwork at the other school and stuff like that. I'm like, I have orientation next week. I don't know what to wear. Can you help me? I ended up wearing something stupid. I thought I was fire with the fit. My hair, I think I have a picture. I'm going to insert it. I think my hair was really cute. I tried a new hairstyle that day. I think it was really cute for the time that it was in. But yeah, I'm like, yeah, I got a schedule. We would have had all our classes together. We would have been in the same class. It would have been, you know, like, but she's like, yeah, I miss you. We need to link up before summer's over, before you start school. We never did. We never did. Yeah, so that's how she is. And I'm basically saying her, I'm like, yeah, we do. Like, I'm agreeing with her. Like, I'm being empathetic because I feel bad. Like, I feel like it was my fault. I tend to blame things on myself. So I'm saying I feel like it's my fault. And I'm like, I think we should be friends again, you know. We need to get back to, like, I know we can't get back to where we were yet, but we should work on getting back to that point. So, it's the day of orientation. I'm in the car. We skirt, vroom, vroom to the school. Mind you, I live like 45 minutes away from the school. So, me, my mom, and my older sister is driving us to my orientation. Get in the car, and we like 20 minutes into the drive, and I get a text message from Zesty, and it's like, I can't be your friend anymore. I can't believe you would do something like this, and oh, how could you? I'm like, what did I do? What did I do? Like, I'm like, what did I do? She's like, you talked to Prime again. And I'm like, what? She's like, you talked to Prime. He asked about you the other day. You was talking to him again, weren't you? I'm like, no, I don't speak on that boy. I have not talked to that boy in months. What are you talking about? What do you mean? Like, what do you mean by that? I'm like, what are you talking about? I don't talk to him anymore. She's like, so why did he ask about you? I'm like, why do you still talk to him? You said you gave up. Why do you still talk to him? Let's be for real. Like, let's have an actual conversation. Why do you still talk to him? She's like, that's not what we're worried about right now. I'm talking to you and da-da-da. Like, I was literally about to break down in the car when she put that first message. Like, tears. Like, I was so hurt because I haven't had a best friend for 3 years. Up until this point, I've never had a best friend for this long because I transferred school so often. In elementary school, I did not have a best friend for that long. So this was new territory to me. I didn't really know what to do. That's why I kept forgiving her. I kept not, like, I was blind to her red flags. I kept forgiving her, stuff like that. You know, it was really hard for me to let her go. But yeah. So that was the conversation. I stopped texting her because we were in orientation, walking around, getting my papers, went to my locker. You know how orientation goes. I want to say it's September now. It's the week they start school. I'm like almost a month into school already. We're like 3 weeks into school now. They start in school, and she texts me on the first day of school. She's like, I hope you have a good day on your first day of school. I'm like, my first day of school was 3 weeks ago. She's like, dang, y'all start school that early? And I'm like, yeah. Mind you, at this time, she has a boyfriend. Which, let's start here. I didn't know she was still dating this boyfriend. I knew she had one. She didn't tell me. I found out through a mutual friend we had, and I didn't know she was still dating the same boy. But she was still dating this boy when she got mad at me for thinking I was talking to Prime. This is when she got, you know. So it was weird. I'm like, you have a boyfriend, why are you worried about? Even if I was talking to him again, why are you worried about it? So yeah, I started new school, skirt. I'm a little turnt now because it's the first day of school for me at the, you know, at this new school. And I know kids that are there. I went to elementary school with them when I was like in 2nd grade. We're cool. I'm chilling. I got like 3 friends. We sat at the table together. You know, they help me. They walk me around the school. They tell me who and who not to talk to. Big mistake, because I ended up talking to one of the people that you don't befriend. She befriended me. You're not supposed to. That's a story time. I have so many story times. That's a story time for another, you know, another time. Let me know if you guys want that story time in the comments, because that one was I'll give y'all that story time. Like, I'll give y'all that story time. But yeah, so got new friends. I'm cooling. You know, I don't really talk to none of my other friends. I talk to my guy best friend, who I've known since pre-K. We still best friends to this day. Turn up. Shout out to DJ. Yeah, we still best friends to this day. But it was really weird because I lost communication with everybody. Like, I had another best friend at the time, but in 7th grade, me and this best friend, we didn't have classes together. So, like, our conversations was very awkward. We weren't as close as we were in 6th grade, so we were, like, kind of falling off. So, by the time I got to 8th grade, we didn't really talk anymore. She had got a new phone, so I didn't have her number. She had got a new Snapchat, didn't have her social media. She had a new Instagram, like, didn't have any of her social media. And I didn't even have, I lost, like, all my contacts on Messenger, so I didn't have that anymore. So, texting anybody was out of the question. But yes, yeah, that was basically it. She stopped talking to me. We go to the same high school now. We used to say hi to each other in the hallways until she got another boyfriend. She doesn't talk to me anymore. Yeah. Anyway, that's the end of the video. Adios.
I need to know you're exciting, boy, come find me. Your eyes told me, girl, come ride me. That feeling, both us fighting.